Okay, so now here I am making tea. Um, just leaving some more thoughts for future me, I guess, or anybody else who's watching this. So, ego. More about that. Pouring water for tea now. Okay, Google, set a timer for 3 minutes.
Okay, 3 minutes. Starting now.
So, ego, it's like a tunnel, or like a telescope, or okay, so a kaleidoscope. So is whatever the only being that is watching its own activity, right? And that's what our experience of living in this time space is. And so it's like a telescope or a kaleidoscope, and a kaleidoscope is different than a telescope. As you spin it around, right, there's all these accretions of glass or plastic, or these colored things that come into the view and change how the world looks, or how reality looks, if you want to think of it like that. And so I think that's a metaphor I'm working with right now. Like as the view, as the is spins into and appears to localize and focus on this experience of reality, there's these accretions that come along, like I talked about in the last video. Friction happens as we keep existence in existence, as we keep ourselves, our bodies, our whatever. And it's like this, all this stuff, all this colored glass kind of just falls into it. It's beautiful, like these amazing patterns that happen inside of this kaleidoscope, inside of this tube. But it's really fun to look at in some ways, where it can be disjointing or whatever. And right now I'm thinking, like, this speaking right now is more of that. Because that's all ego can be. That's all this apparently separate self can be, is just this stuff that gathers in the glass. And so my awakening, my whatever you want to call it, my thing that's happening right now is like the glass, clearing away the glass, like getting out of the way. That which is the separate self has come to understand that the separate self that it believes it is getting in the way of a clear view. But maybe that's inaccurate. I mean, it created this game, right? I mean, this is the game that's going on. I think it set it up, or it is set up. It's evolving in order that it gains an accurate view of its own activity, right? And so maybe the pieces of glass in the kaleidoscope are just part of that, right? It's part of what is so, and what there is for the ego, the pieces of glass, the disparate little bits that have accreted into the view to do, if there is a thing that they can do, is to just accept their refractive qualities, their colorful qualities, their the way that the distortions that they introduce into the activity of awareness. Because apparently the activity of awareness, part of the activity of awareness is to accrete these distortions of its view of itself. That's confusing. So I'm working this out, like I the apparently separate self, I mean, is there's this longing, right? I feel this longing for peace and longing for connection, like every other human being does, for happiness. And I can sense that lies at my core. It's this I experience it like being, as Rupertspira puts it, like being before any qualifications, like all the things, all the content of experience is what he calls it. That's what I'm calling these accretions, I guess, or whatever. Content of experience, separate from the content of experience, the being doesn't share the limitations of this perception that I have of myself, and it is complete and whole, and it is peace, and that seems to be what I long for. So to feel that peace, do I need to disassemble the ego? And I don't think that's possible. So maybe getting rid of the pieces of glass isn't the deal, but rather just my belief that those pieces of glass, that those accretions in the kaleidoscope, are who I actually am. That's the problem. I believe that that glass means something, or that it's important, or that I need to defend it, or I need to somehow get it, like I get attached to the things I want and the things that I like this tea that I'm making right now in this lovely mug. Cheers. I like the tea. I like the way it feels. So I don't think I need to get rid of these wants and desires and all that. It seems to be contrary to the point of having made them in the first place. But if I can stand in that place of peace, that place of who I am, maybe then I can appreciate the glass pieces for the view that they give me into my own activity. Without, and this is the trick, without getting caught in like that's actually me. I mean, everything is just the one being, like all the objects, all those pieces of glass are, but I mean that those wants and needs and desires and all that stuff, that it's actually what matters. I haven't figured this one out yet. Leave your thoughts in the comments if you have any. I'm going to keep looking. Cheers.